Okay, so I'm actually going to gym shortly, but before I go, I would like to first of all acknowledge you for commenting my post, and I'm going to do this video just because of you doing so. So question is that I actually put up this question yesterday. How many of you have aspired to become a master facilitator, and you did say yes, or some of you are already doing it, so congratulations. So I would like to offer you 3 tips that from my experience that allows me that will help you also becoming a world-class master facilitator. So tip number 1, you have to have the open mind. Like many people actually so hooked up with what we call the skills. Like in Singapore, we have got some certification where people actually go to learn how to become a trainer and a facilitator. So it's all skills based. So you could acquire skills from one course to another course to the third course, the fourth course. I've seen so many people in Singapore who have got that certification, which I had in 2015, in the end did nothing. And the reason why I believe that's the case is because skill set alone does not help us move forward. You've got to have what we call the mindset. Mindset and skill set have to be together. Okay, so you have the mindset. Like the question is like, do I see myself as a facilitator to start with? If you don't see yourself as a facilitator, then guess what? Nothing will happen. Because you can go for a course, but because you do not see yourself doing this, in the end, nothing will happen. So I have seen that many times. So this tip number 1, your mindset. So tip number 2 is what we call the, I will call it the ability to listen. And I would like to actually add one more word called ability to listen with intent. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'll make a distinction between the differences between trainers and facilitators. And for the purpose of this video, I would love to just talk about facilitation, just one difference between trainer and facilitator. You see, the point is that for trainer, because the job of a trainer is to impart information. So guess in the training room, who does the talking most of the time? So I use a 80-20 rule to describe this scenario. 80% of the time the trainer will spend imparting information, so it's a one-way traffic. And perhaps that could be the remaining 20% of the time that is open up for Q&A. So that's the 80-20 in the case of a trainer. In the case of a facilitator, it is the ability to listen that matters. So most of the time, who asks questions, that will be the facilitator. Who actually give out the answer or come up with the ideas, that's the audiences in the room. So for a trainer, which is 80% of the time speaking, talking, facilitator on the other hand will just spend 20% of the time asking brilliant questions to draw out the learnings. As I remember when I first learned from my teacher Blair Singer, who is the Rich Dad advisor for Robert Kiyosaki in sales, team development, and personal development. So I learned from Blair that the brilliance of the room allows him to become a world-class facilitator. Because if I put myself as the smartest person in the room, then I will not be successful. You've got to understand that the audience's combined brilliance and wisdom is better than you. So once you actually put the heat out to these people to let them answer the question, to draw the lessons by themselves, and your job is just to ask very strategic questions to do that, you will be able to be a world-class facilitator. So tip number 2 is what we call the ability to listen with intent and ask questions. So number 3, very simple tip. This one is a very simple statement or sentence. Perhaps you have heard of it many times. Practice makes permanent. Practice makes permanent. And what do I mean by that? So you've got the mindset to become a world-class facilitator. That's good. Now you understand the ability to listen with intent is important. So you're hoping, you may be waiting for opportunity to come. So guess what? Nothing will happen. Because if you do not put out the effort to source for opportunity to allow you, to empower you to have these skills, then guess what will happen? You will just be sitting at the computer, at the corner in your room, just waiting things to happen. So if you have been following my work, you know that I do not allow myself to just wait for things to happen. I actually make things happen. As what we call the entrepreneurial mindset, number 1, you got to make things happen by taking full responsibility. So I will go and talk to people. I'm going to put out the content just like what I'm sending this video to you right now. I'm giving you the ability to go and source for opportunity. So when you talk to other people, guess what will happen? You will understand that sometimes you will get a no, which is okay because that is normal. But what if you talk to 10 people and one person out of these 10 gives you the permission to speak in front of the room and do a facilitation? And that's how facilitation skill can be improved. Because once you have the opportunity to speak in front of the room and do facilitation, you will become better when you do it again, again, and again. Okay, so I hope that these 3 tips will help you become a world-class facilitator. And that's all I want you to do. So once again, thank you for commenting my post. And this is the reason why I'm giving this video specially for you. Till then, we next meet. Jack Wong here signing off. Good wishes.